Hey there everyone, and welcome to Bill's Retro Gaming Show. So now this video today is actually going to be an update to a video I did a couple of weeks ago regarding the games list for the Capcom Legacy Yoga Flame Edition. Now, when I had originally made that video, that was after we had gotten a very quick leak actually from Arcade1up of the Capcom Yoga Flame Edition cabinet and the games that would be coming on it. Now, since then, since I've made that video, they have made that cabinet and its brother, the Shinku Hadoken, available on their website. They are now available for pre-order from Arcade1up. The Yoga Flame is available from Arcade1up directly. The Shinku Hadoken is available from partners like Shop Hippo. Now, they've also decided that they're going to make a slight change to the original games list. Now, if you've watched that previous video, the games list is virtually the same except for one change. All right, and that's why I wanted to do this. I wanted to make a quick update video so that I can be more accurate with the games list. Now, the change they decided to make was to remove the original Street Fighter game and in its place put Strider. Now, I will tell you, I have mixed feelings on this. While I understand that the original Street Fighter is not a very good game, and I do agree and sympathize with that, and Strider is a much more fun, much better game, I have mixed feelings for a couple of reasons. Reason number one is because this is being billed as a 35th anniversary Capcom Legacy machine. Now, how you can call this a 35th anniversary and not have Street Fighter on it is a little disconnected, because Street Fighter did come out in 1987, marking this as the 35th anniversary. There are no other games, to my knowledge, on this cab that were released that early. So to call this a 35th anniversary, and if you look, you can see on the riser, it clearly has 35th anniversary marked on it. They have not changed that as far as we can tell. So, there's that. There's also the fact that Strider has been released before on other cabinets from Arcade1up, so they're just kind of replacing it with a different one. Now, I would have almost preferred to see them go in a different direction. If you don't really care that it's not a 1987 game, maybe put one of the Darkstalkers back on this to have another fighter, because this is a machine with Wi-Fi on it. So you're taking advantage of that two-player ability that's going to be available online by putting another fighter like Darkstalkers. I know people were upset that there wasn't any Darkstalkers on this, so maybe put the original Darkstalkers on this just to kind of appease them a little bit, have another fighter, have another way to do some online play on it, instead of a single-player game like Strider that's basically just going to be there for leaderboards. The other option would maybe to go with a game like Bionic Commando. Now, Bionic Commando is a game we have not seen Arcade1up release yet, and it was also released in 1987, so you're keeping that 35th anniversary on there by giving us a different game that we haven't seen before from the same year. Now, again, I believe Bionic Commando is only single player, so you're not taking advantage of that online other than leaderboards, but it would have kept that 35th anniversary alive on this machine. So that's just my personal opinion on where they decided to go with this. I know a lot of people are going to be very happy that they took off OG Street Fighter and they added Strider to this instead. I know a lot of people are going to, that's going to, be a benefit to this cabinet. I just kind of wish that maybe they'd gone in another direction, maybe gone Darkstalkers, or maybe gone, like I said, Bionic Commando, another 1987 game to keep that 35th anniversary. But let's just leave it from there. What I want to do now is just go through the games again, just like I did on the original. It's basically going to be just a rehash of that video for the most part, swapping out Street Fighter to Strider. So for those of you who kind of want to stop here, you won't offend me. I get it. You can stop here if you want. You know what the change is. But for those of you who didn't watch the original video or just want to see it again, here you go with the games that will be on both the Yoga Flame and the Shinku Hadoken, because they have confirmed that both versions will have the same games list. Here you go. All right, so starting us off is Strider, the game that they replaced Street Fighter 1 with. Now, Strider was originally released in 1989, and it is a side-scrolling hack-and-slash style game. It is a single-player game, although I believe the arcades did have a two-player alternating version. So where they go with online for this, I'm not sure. My guess is it will be leaderboard only, although they may include the option to play it back and forth with somebody online. We'll just have to wait and see. But there you go. That is the one game that was changed out, Street Fighter for Strider. Following this will be all the same games that were previously announced, starting with a fan favorite, of course. And of course, that game would be Street Fighter II: The World Warriors, released 4 years later in 1991. Now, this game obviously was hugely popular and really sparked the entire fighting game genre in the arcades. As a matter of fact, this game was so popular for Capcom that over the next several years, they would release multiple iterations of this game, each one adding new features, from new playable characters to heightened speeds to tournament modes, all kinds of different options with each release of the game. Now, the original Street Fighter II World Warriors is not on the Capcom Legacy. However, they are releasing some of the best ones in the series, and those would be Street Fighter II Champion Edition, Street Fighter II Turbo Hyper Fighting, and Super Street Fighter II Turbo. And rounding out the Street Fighter themed games is going to be Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo. Now, this is obviously not a fighting game, but a gem matching puzzle game. And as you move gems down the row and try to match up the ones on your side, the characters will battle each other in the middle of the screen. And the whole object here is to match and eliminate gems on your side, causing more to fall on your opponent's side. And once one of you reaches the top where you can no longer match gems, the match is over and you win. Now, again, this is going to be kind of a different game, being that it's a puzzle game, but it just adds to the nature of the fact that this is going to be a cabinet with several different types of games on it. So moving away from the Street Fighter games, we have the King of Dragons, a side-scrolling beat-em-up that was released in 1991. In this game, you play one of 3 characters as you go through the Kingdom of Malice to defeat monsters led by the Dragon Guildess. Now, this game features a level advancement system, allowing character attributes to be upgraded as players progress through the game. Again, this is a 3-player beat 'em up, so again, the neat feature about this is going to be, with the cab having online play, being able to play with you and a couple of your friends online through the game. So definitely something fun to look forward to, and if you're a fan of beat 'em ups, this is definitely a neat one, and one that is one of the ones, I should say, that we have not seen from Arcade1up on a cabinet before. This is Progear, and this is a side-scrolling shoot-'em-up that was originally released in 2001. And again, this was one that really caught me by surprise being on this. Not necessarily because it's a shoot-'em-up, because we've seen those on these cabinets before, but because it's a game that I don't think too many people really know that much about or are aware of. I didn't know much about it until I started really looking into it, and it's one of those that a lot of times is called a bullet hell game, just because there are so many shots being fired at you on screen at once as you try to dodge through them and make your way, along the screen. So again, very interesting game that they've announced to have on this cabinet, and very unique, and just like King of Dragons, not one that we have seen on an Arcade1up system before. Next up, we have Battle Circuit, which is another side-scrolling beat-em-up that was originally released in 1997. Now, this game takes place in an alternate future Earth, and the game revolves around a group of bounty hunters who must capture the mad scientist Dr. Saturn and secure a sophisticated computer disk carrying a program known as the Shiva system. Now, the characters are definitely very over-the-top and comic-like in this game, and I believe you have the ability to choose from up to 5 different characters, And this is a 4-player simultaneous game. So again, having the ability to play this online with up to 4 people at once is going to be fantastic for a game like this. And this is another one that I would say we have not seen from Arcade1up on a cabinet before. So another unique addition to this legacy system. Originally released in 1993, this is Saturday Night Slam Masters. This is a wrestling themed game, and one that we actually have seen before, I believe, on the Big Blue Cab. Now, some of you may recognize the big guy on screen. That is Hagar, who is also in the Final Fight series, and we will get to that in a little bit. But again, fun wrestling game, multiplayer, and so again, having the ability to play this online with people, I think is going to be a lot of fun. Next up, we have Capcom Sports Club. And again, this is one that we have seen released before, again, I believe on the Big Blue Cab. This is another sports-themed game from Capcom, and in this one, you have the ability to play one of 3 different games you can play. Smash Stars, which is a tennis-themed game, Dunk Stars, which is basketball, and Kick Stars, which is soccer. And as you can see, it does star certain Capcom characters within the game. There's Chun-Li jumping around there. And again, one that we have seen before, but a fun addition to this cab for sure, and just to have different games in different genres. Now, another new game to Arcade1up, this is Giga Wing. And Giga Wing is a vertical shooter that was originally released in 1999. This game takes place during a fictional war within a steampunk setting. The player controls one of 4 different futuristic aircraft and must destroy enemy aircraft, tanks, ships, and buildings using both guns and missiles mounted on the aircraft and a limited supply of bombs, which damage or destroy all enemies on screen when used. Now, you do have the ability to play 2 players on this, so again, another one that will be cool to have online features for, and another unique game in the fact that I don't believe that we've had any vertical shooters from Capcom on an Arcade1up system before, and certainly not Giga Wing. So next up, we have Armored Warrior, originally released in 1994. Another side-scrolling beat-em-up, but what is different about this is that you play the game inside an armored mech. This is, again, a multiplayer game, so you do have the option of playing with other people. And it's a unique one because you do have the ability to switch out different parts of your mech throughout the game. Arms, legs, weapons, as you battle through. Either picking up or losing different armor. You also have the ability to do team-up attacks with other players. And this is another 3-player game. So again, having the ability to play online, as I keep saying, is going to be a big boon for this game. And again, this is another one that is unique that we have not seen Arcade1up put on a cabinet before. Now, this is a game I'm actually very excited to see them put on here, and this is Captain Commando, which was originally released in 1991. Another side-scrolling beat-em-up. This one takes place in more of a futuristic setting, and the game stars the titular superhero, Captain Commando, who was originally conceived as a fictional spokesman for Capcom. The game's set in a futuristic version of Metro City, which is the same setting used for Final Fight, and features several loose ties with characters and settings from that game. The year is supposed to be 2026. The world is filled with crime. Captain Commando and his 3 faithful commando companions rise up to erase this crime from planet Earth and from all the galaxy. But the futuristic criminals they have to fight are endowed with a secret hidden evil power. Many of them are super criminals with abilities beyond that of ordinary mortals. The leader of all super criminals is Scumicide. Yeah, again, another just fun game, fun beat 'em up if you are a fan of these. And one that we actually have seen before. This was on the Street Fighter II Partycade that was released by Arcade1up, but not on one of their 3/4 scale arcades before. So that will make this one a little bit unique. Plus, again, having the ability for online play will make this a lot more fun, being able to play with other players. You couldn't really do that on the Partycade. As a matter of fact, the Partycade was just 1 player. You couldn't even play 2 players side by side. So having the ability to play multiple players on this, I think is going to be a lot of fun, especially if you are a huge fan of these side-scrolling beat-em-ups. And last but not least is a game that I'm sure a lot of people are very happy to see a return. This was on last year's, or I should say the last Capcom Legacy that they did as well. This is Final Fight. Probably the most famous side-scrolling beat-em-up that Capcom has ever done. And one of their first two, as this game was released in 1990. Very similar to Street Fighter, this one really set the standard for the beat-em-ups that would come after it. And it's just a hugely fun, hugely popular game in which you can play as, I believe, up to 3 different characters, and 2 of you can play at the same time. So, yet again, online play for this is going to be a huge deal. And I believe it's the first time we will see the ability to have online play for the Final Fight series. Alright everyone, and that is going to do it. Like I said, basically same list. They've just swapped out Street Fighter for Strider. Let me know in the comments below. Are you happy that they have made this change? Are you upset that they got rid of Street Fighter? Would you have rather seen a different game other than Strider again on this? Let me know your thoughts below, guys. And as always, if this is your first time on the channel, or if you have not done it yet, feel free to hit that subscription button. Click the notification bell if you want to be notified every time I put up a new video. Give this one a thumbs up, and again, leave those comments below. Let me know your thoughts on this change, all right? That is going to do it for this video, and I will see you guys again really soon. Have a great day.